everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have to be completely honest with you all. Watching Steffy Forrester actively choose to hide her shocking betrayal with Carter Walton has been leaving me with such a heavy heart all week. I sit in my living room watching her go about her day as if nothing happened, and I just feel this profound sense of disappointment washing over me. We all know that in the world of soap operas, those who wander into the darkness and think they can keep their indiscretions buried are always painfully mistaken. The truth always has a way of clawing its way up to the surface, and I cannot help but evaluate this situation as a massive, ticking time bomb just waiting to obliterate her entire family. Do you ever just want to reach through the screen and shake some sense into these characters before they ruin their own lives? I find myself analyzing Steffy's motivations constantly, trying to understand how a woman who claims to value her family above all else could make such a catastrophic misstep. In my opinion, Steffy has always possessed this underlying arrogance, a dangerous belief that she can control every narrative and manage the fallout of her own reckless desires. It genuinely frustrates me to see her jeopardize a beautiful marriage for a fleeting moment of passion with Carter, a man who should absolutely know better than to cross that sacred line. I predict that her desperate attempts to sweep this affair under the rug will only magnify the ultimate destruction, because the cover-up is always so much worse than the crime itself. How can she look at her husband's trusting face every single morning and not crumble under the immense weight of her own crushing guilt? Speaking of her husband, my heart absolutely bleeds for our good doctor, John Finnegan. I have been watching this show for many years, and I can confidently say that Finn is one of the most genuinely pure, devoted, and selfless men to ever walk the halls of that hospital. He is a man who dedicates his entire existence to saving the lives of strangers and being the absolute perfect, unwavering pillar of strength for his wife. It brings tears to my eyes to think about how completely oblivious he is right now, walking around with this beautiful, trusting smile, entirely unaware that the woman he worships has shattered their sacred vows. I evaluate his current state of bliss as a tragic calm before a devastating storm, and it just makes me feel so incredibly protective of him. What worries me the most about Finn's impending heartbreak is his complete and utter lack of a personal support system outside of his marriage. Think about it, ladies. The poor man has absolutely no social life to speak of, no close-knit group of buddies to grab a beer with, and certainly no backup lovers waiting in the wings to offer him comfort. His entire universe begins and ends with Steffy and his medical career, which means that when this devastating truth finally comes to light, he is going to fall so incredibly hard with absolutely no safety net to catch him. I strongly believe that a man needs a foundation outside of his romantic relationship, and my heart aches knowing that Finn is going to find himself entirely adrift, utterly alone in a sea of betrayal. Who is he going to turn to when the walls of his perfect life come crashing down around him? I am already bracing myself for the inevitable moment of discovery, and just thinking about the look of absolute devastation that will wash over Finn's face sends cold shivers straight down my spine. Whether he overhears a hushed, guilty conversation between Steffy and Carter or stumbles upon some undeniable piece of evidence, I predict that the revelation will completely break him in two. I can already picture the raw, agonizing pain in his eyes as he realizes that his entire life has been built on a foundation of lies, and that the woman he would take a bullet for didn't even have the basic respect to tell him the truth. It is going to be a masterclass in emotional devastation, and I genuinely do not know if my own heart is ready to witness such a profoundly good man be torn apart so viciously. When that terrible moment finally arrives, I foresee Finn experiencing a complete and total emotional collapse, a rapid unraveling of the composed, professional doctor we have all come to admire. I think we are going to see a side of him that we have never witnessed before, a deep, dark despair that drives him out of his beautiful home and straight into the unforgiving neon glow of the local bar. It is a classic coping mechanism for a broken heart, and I feel a deep sense of sorrow knowing that he will likely try to drown his agonizing pain in a glass, desperately searching for a way to numb the overwhelming betrayal. Have you ever felt that kind of all-consuming, suffocating grief, where the only thing you can think to do is run away from everything that reminds you of your shattered reality? But just when I start to feel completely hopeless about Finn's future, a beautiful ray of sunshine appears on the horizon in the form of a brand new character, and I am absolutely thrilled about it. The news that Darcy, played by the incredibly talented Kelly Sullivan, is making her way to Los Angeles fills me with such a profound sense of anticipation. From everything I have gathered, Darcy is stepping onto the canvas as a single mother to Dylan, carrying no messy ties to the drama and seemingly completely open to the possibility of a fresh start and new love. I evaluate her arrival as the absolute perfect timing, a divine intervention designed to throw a life preserver to a man who is about to be drowning in his own tears. Don't you just love it when the universe aligns to bring two people together at the exact moment they need each other the most? I am already so deeply invested in the idea of Darcy because she represents something that Finn desperately needs right now: simplicity, honesty, and a complete lack of toxic baggage. Unlike the women who are constantly tangled in the endless, exhausting webs of family feuds, Darcy feels like a breath of fresh, clean air, a normal woman who just wants to live a good life and care for her child. My personal opinion is that Finn has spent far too much time navigating the chaotic, high-stakes drama of his wife's world, and he is long overdue for a relationship that feels like a peaceful sanctuary rather than a constant battlefield. I predict that Darcy's grounded, maternal nature will be the exact soothing balm that Finn's deeply wounded soul will require to even begin the agonizing process of healing. I can see their fateful first meeting playing out in my mind with such vivid clarity, and it gives me goosebumps just imagining the quiet magic of that moment. Picture this. A completely shattered Finn wanders into the local bar where Dylan happens to be working, looking for nothing but a quiet corner to hide from his agonizing reality. And there, sitting a few stools away, is Darcy, radiating this warm, comforting, and entirely uncomplicated energy that instantly catches his tear-filled eyes. I feel a rush of excitement, predicting that their initial conversation won't be sparked by fiery passion, but rather by a gentle, understanding connection between two lonely souls seeking comfort in a cold world. Can you imagine the profound relief Finn will feel sitting next to a beautiful woman who has absolutely no idea about the humiliating betrayal he has just endured? When I sit back and compare the kind of life Finn could have with Darcy to the chaotic roller coaster he has endured with Steffi, my opinion is completely solidified. He needs to walk away and choose peace. Steffi, for all her fierce loyalty and undeniable beauty, is a woman who constantly invites drama, secrets, and betrayal into her orbit, leaving a trail of broken hearts and fractured trust in her wake. Darcy, on the other hand, seems to offer a quiet, steady, and incredibly nurturing environment, the kind of safe harbor where a devoted man like Finn can truly thrive without constantly looking over his shoulder. I evaluate this potential new pairing as a necessary evolution for Finn's character, a chance for him to finally be prioritized, respected, and cherished in the way that he so deeply deserves. However, I also know that walking away from a marriage, especially one involving a family and so much shared history, is never an easy decision, and I worry about the immense internal struggle Finn is going to face. He is such a profoundly loyal man, and I fear that his natural instinct will be to try and fix the broken pieces, to forgive the unforgivable, simply because he takes his vows so incredibly seriously. But I strongly believe that Steffi's betrayal with Carter, compounded by her deliberate, calculated lies to cover it up, is a bridge too far, a wound too deep for even the best doctor to successfully stitch back together. Will Finn be able to find the inner strength to finally stand up for himself, to recognize his own immense worth, and to boldly close the door on a woman who so casually tossed his devotion aside?